Fan 33, is there any of the second floor left in pennies? Have a safe trip whenever you go. Well, look for yourself. I'd say about 40% of the floors collapsed. And the rest of it is really unstable. And I wouldn't be caught dead on that other side there. This side, it's for the most part okay. Very dark. Can't even get any light with the mall offices unless I take a light in there. This is the escalator. Not much intact. I would not walk down those either. We got a restroom almost fully intact. Missing sink heaterware and a couple toilets, but towel dispensers are still there. Well, I'm obviously at Dixie Square again. And as promised, I printed out your questions and I'm going to answer them at the mall. So, we'll start with Mr. Dave 777. I have a little bit of a cold, excuse me. Actually, so your recent Dixie Square video, interesting, obsessive, and genius as it is. Why are so many people like us addicted to this mall? I like how you start a walkthrough. Should be more perfect. I think most of the concierge know everything is in the mall, but a detailed walkthrough with captions is peachy. Alright, a walkthrough. I guess we'll start here. Pennies. Two stories. Escalators barely hanging on. Second floor, a complete shithole. We'll get on that later. It's real bombed out here. This just recently collapsed. Okay. Get out into the mall. We have Block C on this side. Block B on this side. And Jewel is part of C. This is the entrance that burned in the 2009 arson. And then it collapsed about a month later. Some scrapper's gonna have a field day here, assuming they get here before the place comes down. And then over there is Jewel. Eventually we'll get in there. Alright, continuing onward. And as someone... It was... Sorry if I slaughter your name. Alsembursky. Once the Walgreens Toys R Us area, which is right over here. Just gonna get around the big pile of shit here. Alright, Toys R Us. The Toys R Us sign was up there. It was cut down about 5 years ago. All that's left is some of the wallpaper. Now, someone said I should grab some, but it really ain't worth it. I mean, it's just paint. And looks like people were trying to go at it already and failed. And then back here is Walgreens, what's left of it. Now, for the Blues Brothers, Walgreens did not want to appear in the film. So what they did is they built a destructible wall here. And the Bluesmobile crashed through there. So, all that was Toys R Us was this. Very small Toys R Us. And then there's a couple stock rooms down there, which I don't feel like going in right now. So go back out into the mall. We're looking at Wurlitzer right there. And the Blues Brothers, that was Frank's drum shop. The Bluesmobile came and crashed into that window display. That one is still there. Nice skylight here. And some Tigers win here recently. Bastards. Okay. Moving on. We have a few stores down there, but not much. But I will show you this. 1993. Poor woman, Denise Shelby was her name. Raped and murdered by a Raymond Eves, currently on life sentence. Her cross is still here. Very, very sad. And then there's more Block B. And we got more tagging. Continuing down this corridor. We've got Rory's Women's Apparel here, which was dressed as a toy store in the Blues Brothers, and recently tagged. Assholes. Polk Brothers Record Store, which at one point was a health food joint. And the bastards broke my record cabinet. And this is yogurt wallpaper. I believe this was Carol's Menswear. Visible in a couple of the 1966 photos. This was Margie Bridal and the Blues Brothers. This is Howard Family Apparel. It's totally bombed out. There used to be a sign that read "Beautiful Things" in here. Unfortunately, it's been destroyed. As with the rest of this store. You got full-grown trees in there. Continue down the mall. This is New Collapse in 2010. I don't know what this store is, but I know it's got some funky stuff. It actually occupies 2 stores. A lot more light in here than I remember. Just trying to watch my step. No dogs today. That's the good news. Continuing this way. This was Just Pants. Or at least in the Blues Brothers it had a Just Pants sign on it. I'm pretty sure Dixie had had a Just Pants, but I'm not sure. This is Polk Brothers. It was a real big Chicago institution. It was an appliance store. What do we got here? Just some power generator. A couple more power generators. What the hell? Now in the Blues Brothers, this store originally occupied 3 tenants. 1, 2, and 3. And for Polk Brothers, it took up 3. In the Blues Brothers, they dressed it back up as 3 stores. And actually, that is why the wallpaper stops here, or the red paint. Because as these were fake storefronts, this is all they filled up with merchandise, just enough that it can be seen and trashed if needed. This is Pier 1 Imports in the Blues Brothers. When the mall opened, it was called Stewart's. I found a blueprint. Found a blueprint in there. General Nutrition Center. Only sign left in the mall, and it ain't worth taking. It's pretty gutted. But it is visible in the Blues Brothers. Now we come into the Wonder Falls Court. Good to see my car is still there. Awesome. Wonder Falls Court, also known as the Bazaar Court, Center Court, and Stuck Cop Car Court. We found some lettering, by the way, in a up in a corridor, just beyond that door. Now, some of these zooms are going to be slow because I'll be cutting some of this into another video. And as I said before, these bastard taggers came back. Kind of a waste of time considering the place has got a death warrant. We'll go down Block D first. Block D was built with poor quality building materials, which is why it is completely bombed out. This was a pretzel joint, and I think this was Chess King, but I'm not sure. That's Turnstile. We'll go in there in a minute. That is the YMCA senior housing. I believe the Jesse Jackson senior housing. I get to wake up and smell the asbestos. Walk down here. Don't know what this store was. Maybe this was Chess King. Not sure. This was Tom McGann. It had the famous sign. And it got tagged to shit. Now the storefront collapsed last year after the sign was taken down. Got more tagging from that Boy Wonder asshole. This was Walden Bookstore. Up in Wisconsin, there's actually a... Ooh, that fell down. Up in Wisconsin, there's a Walden that looks just like this. It has not been altered in any way. I'm just going to back up and do a pan. This, I believe, was Magnavox. And it may have been an arcade at some point. And it got tagged. Now back there... Actually, we'll just go back there. We got like shag carpet left. Groovy. We come back here and we find all of these vending machine licenses up on the wall, which makes me believe this was a video arcade. Although I don't know if those were big in the 70s. Certainly in the 80s and 90s. I don't know if they were around in the 70s. I'm not real familiar with them. Well, by the time I had grown up to appreciate video games, everyone had N64s and Segas and their own home consoles. Over here was Music Land, in very, very bad shape, with a couple bags of cancer right here. Awesome. We'll go over into Turnstile now. Now, Turnstile, for those of you not familiar, was Jewel's attempt at a discount department store. At that time, businesses like Kmart, Woolco, Jefferson Ward, Corvette, EJ Corvette, Goldblatt's, and a few others were thriving. Walmart was just getting its start. And Jewel food stores, it was a Chicago-based grocery chain. They're still in existence. And actually, this mall does have a Jewel. And they tried to get in on the discount department store business. Well, it bombed. Dixie Square was failing from the start. So they sold all the stores to Venture, except for Dixie Square. Now, in the early 80s, this was used as a school. While Harvey Dixmoor School District built their new elementary school, or middle school, I think. And, so yeah, they set up shop in here, and they actually sued Universal for the damages that John Landis and the Blues Brothers caused. But I believe the lawsuit was dropped. And this is just totally gutted. There's really nothing interesting in here. Unless you go up and... Yeah, we won't go up in there. It's a bit of a hike. This is a pretty big store. Turnstile was a very big expansion, obviously. Actually, I just uncovered the blueprints, the original proposal for Turnstile and Block D. So I'll find out a little bit more about it in the next couple of days. And once again, this is a bit of a hike. Because we were all the way over there. Loading docks for Turnstile. These are the offices. pretty sure these were partially gutted in the asbestos abatement. I haven't been up here in a while. It's been tagged to shit. No, that was not me. More racial crap. Boy wonder. What a douche. The famous ladder. That's unstable, but this is. Now we'll go down block A. I'm going to City Life. Nice shortcut in there. Turnstile had a lot of entrances. This looks like it would have been an interesting store to check out. Oh, we got another chair. We got 2 lonely chairs. Lonely chairs seems to be a popular thing among urbex photos. Gary's got its famous orange couch in the church. There's the exterior of Woolworth that they expanded upon. And we come back into the bazaar court. Car's still there, good. Now there was more graffiti here. So they must have come and cleaned this before painting. I guess that's a little nice. Wonder Falls Court down there would be Penny's. Now this plywood wall was set up in the asbestos abatement. And it's just been trashed. And there were more of them. There was one there. And one back by Penny's. And they were burned last year. Around July. The nice thing, though, is it's made it nice to drive a car in here again. And I'm still debating driving my Fiero in there. Now we're coming up on Wards. Or what was Wards, which will answer I hate taps question. Now this is block A, what's left of it. I believe that was Hickory Farms. That was Kinney Shoe. No, Kinney Shoes was right there. I don't know what this store was, but that was Kinney Shoes. Chuck Janda's got a pretty good shot of Kinney before they bulldozed it. Maybe it's the other store. Go. Windy. I'm gonna go over there, but the central energy plant is just on the other side of that wall. It was an on-site power plant. This was in the Blues Brothers. This was Davidson's bakery, and actually these are visible. A few props still left. This is Harvey's Shoes, an original 1966 tenant. It got windy. Wow. Now City Life is a bit of a mess because, and I'm gonna urge you now to start watching the Ghost Mall site again, because we found the stash. We found all sorts of fun shit. And we made a mess. We made a very big mess. We're still working in here. We got sidetracked. But we're finding everything from blueprints, aerial photos, light fixture, and construction photos dating of Montgomery Ward. And we're working on getting everything boxed up. We're obviously not taking all of this stuff, but what I do grab, I will be putting on the Ghost Mall site. Fish. And just to give you an idea what else we're finding, we got mall stationery, we got gift certificate envelopes. Over here we got I don't know if he's put it away already. We have a negative. Alright, this is one of the copies. We actually have the negative of this promo. And I got some of my crap in there. Now, someone was out here before us. You left your trash bags and you made a mess. And you left a lot of the good shit, too. And as I said, we made a mess. And we're not done yet. I hate to let these all rot, but you can't grab everything. At least now, everyone's got an opportunity. This was the mall offices. They were burned. And that's the basement, it's all flooded. Oh man, what a mess. I'm gonna make some demo crews life suck. This is the arcade of City Life. Now, City Life was a disco, nightclub, crack house, had a whole bunch of names. Curious George has been guarding the place. Hi. Now we'll go back around and we'll go in to Jewel, and we gotta go back around because I don't want to be seen by the cops. We've already had a encounter with them today. I parked in Woolworth to start setting up, and there were a bunch of them talking to the firefighters. There's a fire station just across the street. So one of them saw me go in and I got questioned, and he let me go. Very nice guy. He said he used to shop here in the 70s. So moral of the story, children, is don't be a dick to cops, and they won't be a dick to you. Cooperate, tell them exactly what you're doing. Show them you're not going to fuck the place up any more than it already is. And you'll be just fine. And don't die. Dog prints. They were here last time. I haven't seen them yet. They may be gone already. This was Woolworth here. Actually, this was the Harvest House restaurant. And then over here was Woolworth. Now it burned down about 2000. Big fire. And they bulldozed it a couple years ago. For a while, the roof was just caved in. walk back to Jewel and we'll pick up there. Okay, we'll head into Jewel from here, from Margie Bridal. It's just a short walk across the service corridor. And I am taking the bee spray with because I have not yet seen the dogs, and this building I have not yet been in. And a pretty decent sized service corridor. And there was the mall offices, that's all burned up. That's what we've been raiding all day. Just want to get ready just in case there's dogs in here. And it's very dark in here, in some areas. Got a lot of freezer units. A lot of the metal is getting stripped off. Here's the actual sales floor, which is totally bombed out. And it looks like we're clear. Frozen, or the fresh fruit stand, that all caved in within the last couple of years. A couple of the coolers still left. The deli's a mess. Holes in the floor. Panels broken off. Ceiling and shit. A lot of the light's still intact though. Very, very badly damaged. The cashier's stand was smashed up recently. We'll take a peek outside. We're looking toward Dixie Highway. Pennies. Block C entrance. So yeah, not a whole lot to Jewel. Other than that's just a big empty space. So that should answer most of the questions of filming requests. Now, someone wanted to see the path that the Bluesmobile took. First, we got a bunch of chairs and shit piled up. There is an upstairs, but it's dark and I didn't bring my light. And I'll go back through here because I don't want to be spotted by the cops. Oh man, they made a mess in here, bastards. Son of a bitch. We got the freezers here. And they don't work. Some days we could have used them. Like that 90-degree day we were here. And back in the service corridor. So we'll head inside. We'll move on. Quite a few people wanted to see a Blues Brothers Then and Now video. Bill Strikes Back. There's a couple others. But basically, I don't have my iPod to do a exact before and after. So I'll just show you the path that they followed. And again, like I say, I have a cold. So they start in Walgreens. They crash through the breakaway wall. And they all come out to the center court, or the Penny's court. They smash up a fruit stand, or not a fruit stand, a kiosk, and head down this way. As they're making their lots of space in this mall comment, these stores can be seen along block C. And then they crash through, I believe, this store. Either this store or the next store. I know a cop car... Okay, maybe it's this store here, because a cop car comes through here and goes through there. Goes through that store there. And the Bluesmobile continues through here. Obviously, this wall wasn't here. Now the Bluesmobile hits this store, which was Davidson's. It was a bakery. They hit the counter and the window displays, back up, and then take off again towards the Bazaar Court. And as stated before, this is some of the decor from Davidson's. And then somehow, they mysteriously end up back in the Penny's court, hitting Wurlitzer. Then as they take off from Wurlitzer, they come around by Margie Bridal and smash up these windows. I'll be damned, a tumbleweed. The Bluesmobile heads down through there, and meanwhile the cop cars get trapped in this art tent over here. They do a couple donuts and then take off. Meanwhile the Bluesmobile crashes here, goes through the window, backs up a little bit. That's when the new Oldsmobiles are in early this year line is said. And as they're still spinning around, the Bluesmobile takes off and goes back down Block AC. Pier 1 Imports. Well, these next batch of questions were opinions mostly, so let's start with Bloodlock SCC wanted to know what my fascination was with exploring the structure. Well, I'm a bit of a retail nerd. Old department stores fascinate me. I like old shit, and I work at a mall, and it makes sense. It's Blues Brothers, one of my favorite movies, so it makes sense. I mean, someone's got to document it, or no one will. Alright, Bersky, I'm sorry if I slaughtered your name, wants to know what area of the mall do you think is the most intact, and what are the normal sounds you hear in the mall? Most intact, I'd have to say turnstile. I mean, there's not a whole lot to decay other than the structure. They've done a little bit of asbestos abatement, but not much. The worst areas, and I think this was someone else's question. But the worst areas, I would definitely say Penny's or Block D. Penny's in particular, but Block D just because of the bad building materials. And elevator. My Gox, whatever your name, I'm sorry if I slaughtered your name. Camp out there and hunt for ghosts. If you find one, hit me up. No ghosts. And finally, I got an email from a Mr. Brett Tracy from Arizona. He's putting together a project on Dixie Square, the last days of Dixie Square. He'll be doing a basically a documentation of all of the creative work that's been done here between, to name a few, myself, Mike Brown, Chuck Janda, Brian Ulrich, a few other people who have documented them all over the years, Paul McVeigh. And he's working on his website. We'll put the link in the video. But he wanted to know, lastly, I was hoping you'd share with me a few thoughts here on the imminent demolition. As someone who's also developed a strong personal emotional connection to Dixie, I was curious as to how you're coping with the news. Is it upsetting to see it go, exciting, or are you mostly ambivalent about the whole thing? Do you plan to witness any of the demolition? Whatever you're willing to share, I'd love to hear it. So, my thoughts on the demolition coming up. Well, emotionally, it's not that good. It's really doesn't mean much to me. I mean, I never grew up here. The filming was taking place 20 or 10 years before I was born. 12 years, actually. I have no emotional connection to the mall, other than that it's an interesting place to see. It's a peaceful place, I think. And it entertains people. I mean, that's why you're watching this. But is it exciting, or do I think it's going to happen? I'll believe it when I see it. I think this is the most likely demolition scenario. Federal money's now involved. Obviously, Dixie Square got a $4 million grant that was from flood relief money from 2008 to demolish the place. But as promising as this sounds, it may just be another political move, and I'll believe it when I see it. Do I plan to witness any of the demolition? Yes, I will come out and watch some of the demolition. It's supposed to take 4 to 6 months starting in November, so more than likely they'll start structural demolition in December, January, February. And I believe once they finish asbestos abatement, that's the big problem with this mall, why it hasn't been torn down yet, is the fact that there's asbestos in here. It's you can't disturb it, you can't let it fly around. That's why about 5 years ago there were all these tarps hanging from the all the doorways to trap the asbestos as they were working in here. But they half-assed that, thank you, Mr. Deneen. So again, I'll believe it when I see it. Some of the sounds in Dixie Square. For the most part, the only ambient noise you hear is people driving down Dixie Highway and the occasional train going by. Some areas you hear metal creaking, rusty metal hanging. All these ceiling tiles, the structure will break and it'll just start swaying in the breeze. It's particularly big over at Woolworth. But other than that, it's fairly silent. The other noise is, of course, the garbage, debris crinkling under your feet. But other than that, it's dead silent here at some points. And I have a few from Apollo Boy. How much of the mall, or what area of the mall do you think has deteriorated the most, Penny's or Block D? Well, again, Penny's has a lot more structural damage, but Block D was just built like shit from the start. So I'll have to go with Penny's, because it was a better quality, and it's obviously deteriorated far worse than any of us would have thought. Do different areas of the mall smell different? Not really. Years ago there was a strong odor that I was told of. There really is not much of an odor in this mall. There's a lot of dust and crap flying around, which gets caught in your throat. But as far as an odor, you get a faint mold smell. Other than that, it's pretty nice in here. How well are the escalators and Penny's standing up? Can they be walked on? The escalators are starting to show signs of deterioration. They've been stripped clean. And they are starting to sag. So I'd imagine they are the next thing to go. And if those go, I'm sure this floor will come down with it. Can they be walked on safely? No, I will not walk up them. You couldn't pay me to walk up them. I take the stairs. I will not take the elevators either, because they don't work. Speaking of elevators, we have a lot of requests for the elevators. Keith Mason, possible to get interior shots of Penny's elevator. Elevators only. Crap of music, blah, 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 blah. There's a door. Was it actually a freight elevator? Can you film in detail the outside of that? And if you find any marks of other elevators, film the outside of them in detail. Elevator requests. There's 2 in Penny's, 2 in the store. The one in Ward's is gone. So we'll start with the passenger elevator over in Penny's. Had to get the lantern for this one. It is dark in there. We got a switch turned upside down. There is no basement in this place. 1, 2. And inside, tight fit. You have your ceiling hatch. Pretty sure it was a pneumatic elevator. This nice yellow, funky 70s color. 1 and 2. Lights, a vent. All the buttons have been chewed out or taken. And it is by Montgomery. I would love to see 26 people crammed into this thing. I would pay. Forget the clown cars. And the other elevator we cannot get into. is the freight elevator in the loading dock. There was a sign up here until a while ago. Someone broke the glass so we can peek inside. I don't think you can see much of anything in there. I can't see anything. The switches are somewhat intact still. But yeah, not very much to look at. And we got more shitters. Cool. I don't think I filmed in the loading dock much. Yep, it is in the mall.